Welcome viewers, I'm Dr. J.W. Ayoub. You're on the Pro Theologist channel. Theologist since 1994. We're going to look at the life of Muhammad and the verified revelation structure of the people of the book. Episode 4, the early life of Muhammad. In episode 3 I established that Arabia already contained Jewish tribes, Christian influence, scriptural awareness and revelation traditions associated with the people of the book before Muhammad's claims began. And in this episode I examine Muhammad's early life before the first revelation claim appears. So let's just do a quick pain snapshot. People often assume that personal sincerity automatically proves prophetic authority. But sincerity and revelation verification are not the same thing. A sincere person can still make a revelation claim, but it has to be examined and verified. Now, you may feel emotionally drawn toward a person's character, struggle, or devotion, but revelation claims are not verified by sympathy alone. Before Muhammad publicly claimed revelation, his early life was shaped by orphanhood, tribal culture, trade journeys, social reputation, married to Khadija, and exposure to an Arabia already influenced by the people of the book. Teaching point number 1, viewers. People naturally connect sincerity with truth. A disciplined, respected, or morally serious person often gains trust before their claims are examined. But revelation authority cannot rest on personality, reputation, or emotional admiration alone. Here's some people of the book references to look up. Stop the video if you need to write them down and follow this train of thought. Deuteronomy 18:20 through 22, Proverbs 14:12, and Acts 17:11. For the Islamic references, Qur'an 53:2 through 4 and 68:4. You admire personal sincerity. You respect, trust, and accept. You connect character with authority, but that's assumption, it's a wrong attachment, it's over-devotion. And you stop, it's actually blind devotion, blind loyalty. You stop testing the claim itself. So you actually become weak, you're drifting, and you're exposing yourself to deception. And this leads to revelation claims being emotionally protected before they are structurally examined and verified. You'll hear all the noise all of a sudden out there, dogs bark. We're stirring up the spiritual realm severely. Islam's very strong in Australia at the moment, stirring up the spirits. Teaching point number 2, viewers. Muhammad was born into tribal Arabia around 570 AD. He was later orphaned, raised within Quraysh society, and eventually became known for trustworthiness in trade. Through travel, trade routes, and regional contact, Arabia already contained interaction with Jewish and Christian influence before Muhammad's first revelation claim. Now you can look up these references. The people of the book references Luke 1:1-4, Romans 3:1-2, and Jude 1-3. For the Islamic references, Qur'an 93:6-8, the Ibn Ishaq, Sahih al-Bukhari 4,953. You see tribal Arabia shaping identity through culture, relative loyalties and structure. You see trade routes creating exposure, contact, awareness, influence. And you see revelation traditions already nearby. Comparative views, context and personal examination of what's going on. And this results in Muhammad emerging within a historically connected revelation environment rather than an isolated spiritual world. He had exposure. And we're going to just stop for a minute. Let's just stop and view the mountains. Somersby, Sydney, an hour south from Gosford on the Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. The beautiful mountains of Somersby. We'll now continue. Teaching point number 3. Once Muhammad's early environment is examined, the listener can no longer treat his revelation claims as historically detached from surrounding influences and prior revelation awareness. The practical issue becomes whether his latter claims align with or contradict the revelation structure already established among the people of the book. And some of the people of the book references are Isaiah 8:20, 1 John 4:1, and Revelation 22:18 through 19. For Islamic references, Qur'an 1094, 1643, and 548. You examine the environment before these claims. That's chronology, context, discernment. You separate sincerity from verification. You have to examine. You don't just run on how you feel, which will give you clarity, discipline, and analysis. You compare revelation structures directly. You examine, investigate, you judge, discern, and come to a verdict. And this places Muhammad's future revelation claims inside an already existing revelation field, where comparison becomes unavoidable. So here's a pattern clarifier. Personal sincerity may explain conviction, but it does not independently verify revelation, authority, and authenticity. So if we look in the mirror, you may be emotionally protecting a person before examining the revelation claim attached to them. So a revelation claim must be tested by continuity, witness, chronology, and alignment with the revelation structure already established and verified among the people of the book. So let's have a discernment moment. Does personal sincerity automatically verify a revelation claim? If sincerity alone verified revelation, contradictory revelation claims could all claim equal legitimacy. So here's a practical example view as a scenario. You hear someone say Muhammad was known as trustworthy, therefore his revelations must be true. Psychologically, you emotionally connect moral reputation with revelation certainty. Spiritually, you stop testing the revelation claim because the person appears sincere. Viewers. So physically you examine character while ignoring chronology, continuity and contradiction analysis. So you're allowing your sincerity to persuade you in a shallow mindset. So let's reflect. Should revelation authority be determined by sincerity alone or by examination against already established revelation structure? Well, you might be resisting this. Are you emotionally connecting sincerity with automatic truth? Do you resist or retreat from examining the claims themselves? Are you avoiding contradiction because the person appears admirable? I mean, they'll kill you if you don't honor Muhammad. Do you confuse respect for a man with verification of revelation? Well, some of the root causes of this could be: have you been taught to evaluate personality before revelation structure? Do you trust sincerity more than examination and verification? Is your framework built on emotional admiration instead of tested continuity? Do you fear comparison because it may challenge inherited conclusions? So let me ask you a very important question. If sincere people can hold contradictory revelation claims, what standard determines which claim remains true? So let's take some immediate action, viewers. Let's read Deuteronomy 18:20 through 22, Acts 17:11, Qur'an 93:6 through 8, Qur'an 10:94, and write one sentence. Why is sincerity alone insufficient to verify revelation authority? And when you hear he was sincere, therefore it must be true, apply that question. Why is sincerity alone insufficient to verify revelation authority? Viewers, I'm Dr. J.W. Ayoub, theologist since 1994. If you can, for the Pro Theologist channel, press like, subscribe, and maybe the bell if you're interested in more of this content to encourage and inspire me. Comment to educate me and to enlighten me on how you feel, and share to help somebody else, contribute to somebody else's life on this subject. Here's a proverb before we close. Better is the person who examines revelation claim carefully than the one who surrenders judgment because they admire the messenger. In closing, viewers, if sincerity replaces examination, revelation claims become emotionally protected from verification. And this results in admiration without discernment. Unless the claim itself is tested against the revelation structure already established and verified among the people of the book. In episode 5, viewers, the first revelation claim, Muhammad's cave experience, fear response, early reports, and the beginning of public revelation are examined chronologically. I look forward to seeing you in episode 5, the first revelation claim, Muhammad's cave experience. Bye for now.